This isn't just about money or business models. This is about what we want games to be. Look at these characters' muscles in GTA 6. Notice how they flex and contract with perfect anatomical precision. Every fiber responds to movement with scientific accuracy, each sinew catching light with photorealistic detail. The deltoids, trapezius and latissimus dorsi all moving in perfect biological harmony. But this isn't just impressive, it's frightening, because each muscle fiber costs, let's say thousands of dollars to animate. This single character's mass simulation likely costs more than the entire budget of many indie games. $2 billion. That's what Rockstar spent to make the most realistic muscles in entertainment history. This amount exceeds the GDP of some countries used to make virtual flesh jiggle correctly. Everyone's celebrating this technical marvel like it's the second coming of gaming, but here's what nobody wants to admit. Those perfect physics are monument to an industry that's completely lost its mind. Welcome to the $200 million curse, where more money guarantees less soul. I haven't created a catchy introduction for random gravity games. Here I am after midnight in my parking garage, so let's just dive in. I've been digging deep into the numbers, tracking every game with a budget of over 200 million since this madness began. What I found should keep every gamer awake at night. Of all games that cross the threshold, a staggering 75% are mediocre failures or complete disasters. Corporate greed is not a bug, it's a feature. Spend big, fail big, blame the fans. These aren't just ambitious projects that aimed high and missed. They're soulless, committee-designed products that wasted huge amounts of cash while delivering nothing memorable. These games feel like they were made by algorithm for algorithm. But here is the really sinister part. This isn't an accident. The 200 million curse isn't a random coincidence. It's a systematic issue in modern corporate gaming. Every single pattern I'm going to show you is by design. Today we're going under the hood of this machine. We'll expose exactly how massive budgets poison creativity, discover why the largest studios struggle with their own success, and explore what this disturbing trend means for the future of gaming. Because, my friends, we're not just witnessing random failures here. We're watching capitalism eat itself alive, one perfect muscle fiber at a time. And just to be clear, I haven't played every overpriced disaster out there, and if I covered every single one, this video would be 4 hours long, so drop your own horror stories in the comments. I want to hear about the games that wasted fortunes to deliver nothing but disappointment. The curse didn't start with one game. It began with 2, and their combined lessons doomed the industry. The first one, the technical pioneer. Back in 1997, Final Fantasy VII shocked the world by costing $45 million. Crazy for that era. Along with the development costs, Square invested heavily in marketing, spending around $100 million. But Square spent that money on revolutionary full-motion video cutscenes, a sweeping orchestral soundtrack, and technical innovations that pushed the PlayStation to its limits. Every dollar was evident on screen. Another one, the marketing monster. 2009, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the first game to truly shatter the 200 million barrier. Activision threw everything at the project. Actors like Kevin McKidd and Lance Henriksen, Hans Zimmer soundtrack, and cinematic production values that rivaled Hollywood blockbusters. Here is the crucial deal everyone forgets. 70% of that budget went to marketing. They weren't just making a game, they were creating a cultural event. billboards in 35 countries, TV commercials during prime time, viral marketing campaigns, celebrity endorsements, all of it. And you know what? It worked. It really did. Modern Warfare 2 became a phenomenon. Publishers looked at those numbers and thought, oh my, if 200 million can do this, imagine what 300 million can achieve. Right? Right? They learned the wrong lesson entirely. They thought Final Fantasy VII proved you should spend big on production, and Modern Warfare 2 proved you should spend even bigger on marketing. What they missed was that both games had clear creative visions and used these budgets to serve those visions. They had conviction. Instead, the industry concluded, throw money at everything, hope the product doesn't completely embarrass you. You know, I've been working for many years as a filmmaker, and we have the saying, we'll fix it in post. That's what the modern game industry is. We'll fix it later. Well, maybe. Since 2009, Call of Duty's budgets have only grown 400 million, 500 million. Some estimates put in recent entries at 700 million. Meanwhile, the game got progressively safer, more cautious, more focused group on mediocrity. The time to kill changed drastically from game to game, reflecting the lack of understanding of what kind of audience they wanted. They wanted it all, but it doesn't work like that. This set a template that would poison the industry for the next 15 years. Let me walk you through the body count, sorted by severity of their failures. The first funny group is almost great disasters. Cyberpunk 2077, I know, we all love it, but they spent 6 years in development and launched as Cyberjunk 2077. The potential was obvious, Night City was breathtaking. The story had genuine ambition. Keanu Reeves brought gravitas to Johnny Silverhand, but CD Projekt Red had never handled a project of the scale before. They lied in marketing campaigns, missed deadline after deadline, and launched a game so broken that something happened that I don't remember ever happening before. A AAA game being delayed after going gold. Cyberpunk was literally stamped approved and ready to ship when they pushed it back again. That's not polish, that's panic. It took another 125 million and 3 years of emergency surgery just to make Cyberpunk good. Here's the thing though, it eventually became genuinely excellent after Phantom Liberty. Millions of players now consider it a modern classic, but at what cost? Nearly $500 million to achieve what could have been done right the first time, with better leadership. And we don't get the second expansion. Yeah. Another one, Spider-Man 2. It represents a different kind of tragedy, the perfectly executed catastrophe. This game works flawlessly, looks spectacular, and feels completely hollow. Sony was so terrified of offending anyone that they stripped out everything remotely challenging or memorable. The symbiote suit, Spider-Man's most iconic corruption arc, gets treated like workplace sensitivity training. What's Peter's most greatest flaw? Oh, I don't know, he's too much of a workaholic. Jesus Christ. This is what safe looks like when it costs 320 million. Technically perfect. Narratively bankrupt. Another one, Halo Infinite. It should have marked Microsoft's successful comeback, the chosen one. Instead, we got a game that felt embarrassingly small-scale for its massive budget. The campaign was a generic open-world checklist, the graphics looked like last-gen despite years of development, and nobody could figure out where all the money went. Turns out most of it was spent on the Sleep Space engine that they built from scratch, then immediately abandoned for future projects. Another 50 million went to fixing the infamous Craig the Brute meme, when players mocked the graphics at the first showcase. They literally spent more money on damage control than many indie games cost to develop. For $250 million, we ended up with a tech demo featuring Master Chief. Then you have the games that look stunning and play like interactive screensavers. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. It delivers the most gorgeous world you never want to revisit. Ubisoft spent fortunes on James Cameron's consultations, cutting-edge rendering technology and environmental storytelling. The result? Far Cry Primal with prettier trees and even less personality. You fly around on your pterodactyl above the tree line and the illusion shatters. It's all surface level beauty hiding a complete lack of meaningful interaction. This story is the same tired evil humans versus noble natives formula that was already stale when the Avatar was just a movie. Star Wars Outlaws. It promised to be the Uncharted of the space adventures. Instead, it plays like a tech demo someone forgot to turn into an actual game. The shooting mechanics feel unfinished, the stealth is laughably broken, and the open world is populated entirely by fetch quests. So where did the money go, Lebowski? I mean, Mr. Yves Guillemot.
And thank you for joining us.
Your guess is as good as mine. Maybe they spend it all on making sure every blade of alien grass moves independently in the wind. Who knows? Assassin's Creed Shadows. It took 10 years to bring the franchise to Japan. The setting fans had begged for since the series began. The result? A feudal-era loot grinder with gorgeous graphics and personality of a spreadsheet. Every creative decision was focus grouped into mediocrity. The combat is shallow, the stealth is broken, and the open world is just another Ubisoft checklist simulator. But hey, the cherry blossoms look nice, and here goes my favorite party, the absolute horrors. Marvel's Avengers. Avengers was Square Enix's attempt to create a live service empire around Earth's mightiest heroes. They had Disney blessing, Crystal Dynamics talent, and the most valuable IP in entertainment. A soulless grind fest that made Anthem look inspired. By the way, another piece of shit that costs 120 million, but hey, who counts? It's not that big, huh? Character progression that actively punished you for playing different heroes. The combat that felt like button smashing with extra steps. A story so generic it could have been written by Crystal Dynamics lawyers in their spare time. The game lasted exactly 26 months before servers shut down. Disney pulled the license, Square Enix sold Crystal Dynamics just to get away from this financial crater the game left behind. Skull and Bones, oh boy, 10 years in development, represents the purest distillation of corporate insanity. Ubisoft Singapore restarted this project 10 different times because executives couldn't decide if they were making a single-player adventure, an MMO, a survivor game, or a naval combat simulator. The final product plays like a mobile. Just look at this. Oh my god, ships shoot at other ships while you watch numbers go up. No interesting story, no engaging activities, just maritime tedium with a premium price tag. It has less depth than Assassin's Creed Black Flag. A 12-year-old game it was supposed to improve upon. And finally, the crown jewel of this graveyard. You know this game, you have waited for it. Concord. Sony spent nearly $500 million on a hero shooter that lasted exactly 14 days. Dead in 14 days. Fireworks Studios had 8 years to develop this game. They brought in Bungie veterans, built custom tools to Unreal Engine 5, and created 16 unique heroes with elaborate backstories. The atmosphere in the studio was so filled with toxic positivity that nobody could provide honest feedback about the game's problems. Before we dive into why everything goes wrong, let's examine the exceptions because understanding success reveals what the failures lack. In gaming history, exactly 6 games, 6, over 200 million, are genuinely great. GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, The Last of Us Part 2, God of War Ragnarok, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Why these games succeed? Well, Rockstar's secret, GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 succeeded because Rockstar understood something crucial. Massive budgets require massive conviction. They didn't just throw money at problems, they used money to realize impossible visions. Red Dead 2 is obsessive to the point of insanity. Horse testicles shrink in cold weather, Arthur's bird grows in real time, every NPC has a daily routine. It's not just a game, it's a living world that happens to have gameplay in it. They spent money on details that 90% of players would never notice, because those details create an unconscious sense of authenticity. And Sony's formula, The Last of Us Part 2 and God of War Ragnarok. They succeeded because Sony provided their internal teams with something special, creative freedom. These games could afford to devise because Sony trusted their developers' vision more than focus group feedback. I was talking about God of War Ragnarok in my previous video, so let's go straight to Last of Us. Last of Us 2 is genuinely controversial. Some players hate Ellie's story, others consider it's a masterpiece, but everyone agrees it's uncompromising. It respects players enough to challenge them emotionally, even at the risk of losing some along the way. I know, we don't like Mr. Druckmann nowadays, but he wasn't listening to the corpse. That's for sure. Square Enix's gamble, Final Fantasy VII, succeeded by doing something unprecedented, taking creative risk with beloved source material. Instead of just remaking a classic, they reimagine it. Cloud's unreliable narration becomes a gameplay mechanic. The story questions its own mythology. What they all share? First, clear creative leadership. One person or small team with final say. Second, conviction over consensus, willing to alienate some players to satisfy others deeply. Third, budget serving vision, money spent on realizing artistic goals, not minimizing risks. And fourth, time to execute properly, development schedules that prioritize quality over quarterly targets. Did you notice what's missing from this list? Any Ubisoft game, any recent Call of Duty, any live service disaster, the pattern is clear. Corporate committee design is creative poison. Let me hit you with some numbers that should terrify every gaming executive. The success rate by budget. Games under 50 million, highly variable but passionate projects often break through. Games from 50 to 100 million, the sweet spot. Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3, most critical darlings. Games from 100 to 200 million, decline in returns, increased corporate interference, and games over 200 million. 25% success rate at best. That means if you're spending blockbuster money, you have 3/4 chance of disappointment. And what I love the most is Ubisoft tried 6 times and they succeeded 0. Three companies have figured out how to handle massive budgets. Everyone else just burns money and produces digital ash. But even successful studios are showing cracks. The curse is spreading. Why does this keep happening? Why do biggest budgets consistently produce the worst results? The answer isn't mysterious, it's systematic. Let me break down the 6 ways massive budgets guarantee creative death. When you're holding 300 million in corporate money, terror becomes your co-director. Publishers look at those numbers and think, We cannot afford to eliminate a single potential buyer, so they strip out anything remotely challenging, controversial, or memorable. Executives are so scared they'd focus group a game about watching paint dry. This is how you get games designed by boardroom to please everyone, which means they please no one. Spider-Man 2 somehow burned through comparable cash to Avengers Endgame, but what did you get at this premium price? They expanded New York's map size while someone delivering 25% less actual content. The irony is devastating. The more money you spend trying to appeal to everyone, the less likely you are to connect with anyone. Modern executives don't understand that games aren't products, they relationships. You can't focus group your way to an emotional connection. You can't brainstorm your way to genuine inspiration. Safe is the enemy of memorable. GTA 6 reportedly has between 3,500 and 4,500 people working on it. Have you ever tried to coordinate a group project? Now imagine explaining your creative vision to 4,000 people through 6 layers of management hierarchy. Here's what happens. The director tells the department heads, who tell the team leads, who tell the senior developers, who tell the junior developers, who tell the contractors. By the time it reaches the actual artist, make the game feel dangerous and rebellious becomes make sure nothing breaks the established formula, okay? Please. When you combine corporate fear with management chaos, you get the restart spiral. Projects get 18 months in, executives panic about market conditions or focus group feedback, and everything gets thrown away. Skull and Bones was restarted 10 times. Did I tell you? 10 times. Different directors, different visions, different genres. I wouldn't be surprised if they thought about a dating simulator where you romance your navigator. Each restart burned millions in sunk cost. And again, oh my god, look at this gameplay. Oh my god, at some point somebody said, approved. Approved. Concord spent the 3 years in pre-production before full development even began. They experimented with engines, rebuilt the netcode twice, invented new approaches to PvP. Hundreds of development years gets built in a budget and then discarded. We're literally paying premium prices for expensive corporate mistakes. When your game costs 250 million, missing the holiday shopping season isn't an option. So games get shot out the door, half finished, because shareholders demand their Q4 numbers. Cyberpunk 2077 needed 6-month minimum. CD Projekt Red knew this. The developers were telling management the game wasn't ready, but the marketing machine was already in motion. The release date was carved in stone and the quarterly reports had to hit their targets. Result? A game so broken that Sony pulled it from the PlayStation Store, something that had never happened to a major release before. Halo Infinite launched without co-op features that had been core to the franchise for 20 years. The developers openly admitted they'd shipped the unfinished product and would complete it in later through updates. Fix it in post, remember? Co-op was finally added a full year after launch, and the legendary split-screen co-op was permanently cancelled, breaking a promise 343 Industries had made for fans. This wasn't just missing a feature, this was abandoning the franchise DNA to hit a corporate deadline. That's like, I don't know, launching Call of Duty without shady mechanics. Here's where it gets truly ugly. When you've spent 300 million, you need to make it back somehow. So every design decision gets filtered through the monetization team. The questions change from, is this fun? To, Can we sell this as DLC? Can we add Battle Pass? Can we make progression just annoying enough to people buy time savers? Ubisoft? Recent Call of Duty games aren't games. They're just casino slot machines with shooting mechanics attached. The actual gameplay serves as a delivery system for microtransactions, battle passes, and premium cosmetics. Assassin's Creed Shadows doesn't want to entertain you. It wants to frustrate you into opening your wallet. The progression is deliberately slowed, resources are artificially scarce, and the in-game store offers solutions to problems the developers created intentionally. Here's the beautiful irony. When publishers claim they need microtransactions to support ongoing development, they lie through their teeth. Baldur's Gate 3 has been supporting itself for 2 years on base game sales alone. No battle passes, no time savers, no premium currencies. Same with Cyberpunk 2077 after its redemption arc, and No Man's Sky. I don't even have to tell you about No Man's Sky. 9 years. 9 years. Turns out, if you make a good game and treat players with respect, they keep buying it. Who could have predicted this revolutionary concept? Who? These massive projects take so long time to make that they're culturally and technologically outdated before they even launch. Remember Skull and Bones? Did I tell you 10 restarts? Yeah, you know. 10 different visions. I'm pretty sure that at number 9 they were designing a pirate cooking simulator. God, I can't stop showing you this gameplay. I can't. It's so funny and sad at the same time. I think the best way to advertise it would be to make some B-tier celebrity do or say something stupid.
Cardi B, that looks Skull and Bones. Now, come on.
Everyone I know is playing
Skull and Bones.
I want to know, right guys?
I am Jennifer Lopez, and this is
Skull and Bones.
The longer these projects drag on, the more they accumulate technical debt, feature creep, and culture irrelevance. By the time they launch, the world has moved on. Star Citizen has been almost finished for many years and counting. Chris Roberts keeps finding some new technology all the time. Every few years he sees something shiny and thinks, you know what this space sim needs? Oh yeah, let's implement. And there goes another 50 million down the innovation rabbit hole. There is nobody to stop this man. Nobody. It's madness. It's madness. While the giants stumble, something beautiful is happening in the shadows. The mid-budget renaissance is here, and it's absolutely demolishing the blockbuster logic. Split fiction, 13 hours of pure creative density for 35 million. Every moment crafted with surgical precision, every mechanic serving the story, every puzzle designed to make you think differently about reality itself. Clair Obscur, which I'm actually finishing right now and seriously considering reviewing. Yeah, I know I'm very slow, but it was made by a 30-person team for 30 million. It's already the game of the highest rated game of the year. And yes, I'm not taking you into account, Nintendo. No way. Not you. Kingdom Come 2. It delivers hundreds of hours of historically authentic RPG gameplay for 60 million. These games share something the blockbusters lost. Conviction. They know what they want, they commit to a vision, and they execute it without apologizing or trying to please every demographic possible. Recent success stories. Schedule 1 was made by a solo developer, become a viral sensation. PoE 2, with approximately 80 million budget, it's already considered the future of ARPG. And my personal guilty pleasure, Manor Lords. Still in early access, I know, but proven city builders can still innovate. I love playing it with my 5-year-old son. This is what games should be. This magic of, unforgettable memories they provide. I missed it. I really missed it. Here's what terrifies me about the future. Even the survivors are showing cracks. Rockstar, the studio that mastered the art of the expensive masterpiece, is exhibiting every warning sign of creative decline. Dan Houser and some other key figures have left the company. The people who gave us the satirical edge, the narrative risks, the willingness to offend politicians and pear-clutching parents, they're gone. What's left? Technical excellence in service of what exactly? Those perfect muscle physics I showed you are undeniably impressive, but will they be attached to characters worth caring about? Well, I hope so. Will GTA 6 have the courage to be genuinely transgressive, or will it be sanitized for maximum market appeal? There are signs that aren't encouraging. Recent remasters removed Confederate flags from character designs and cut transgender references after complaints from activists. The studio that once thrived on controversy is now playing it safe. Is Mr. Zelnick really going to risk $2 billion on the kind of uncompromising satire that made GTA famous? Or will he demand a safer product that appeals to the broadest possible audience? I desperately want to be wrong. I wasn't sure if I wanted this chapter to be in video. I will decide on the post-production, I guess. But I just wanted to say that this isn't just about gaming. It's about what happens when quarterly profit optimization meets creative industries. The gaming industry has become a perfect case study on how modern capitalism destroys the very thing it's trying to profit from. Don't get me wrong. This isn't some anti-capitalist trend. No. Previous generations of business leaders understood you had to build something lasting, something that would still be generating money decades later. They thought about legacy, about what came after them. But modern corporate executives, they acting like it's the last day on earth. Quarterly results over everything. They strip the IP, burn through goodwill, fire the talent, and cash out before everything collapses. They're not building empires. They are running elaborate smash and grab operations. Recent Battlefield 6 reports suggest that pattern is speeding up. Rumored budget $350 million, development problems ongoing. Expected quality, anyone's guess. But hey, the marketing would be spectacular, right? So what's the solution, you ask? How do we break this curse before it destroys everything we love about gaming? Stop buying games just because they have big budgets. Your money is a vote for the kind of industry you want. Every purchase of soulless blockbuster is a vote for more soulless blockbusters. Stop pre-ordering. We must support the games that respect our intelligence. Sandfall, Hazelight, Warhorse. These are the studios betting their careers on your good taste. Reward them. Look at the Larian Studios. They turned down the publishing deals that would have tripled their budget because they wanted to maintain creative control. Result? Baldur's Gate 3, the most beloved RPG of the decade, and hated by bigots, of course. The math isn't complicated, but it works both ways for managers as well. In 70s, the average CEO made about 25 times what their lowest paid worker earned. Today, at companies with lowest paid workers, it's 600 times, sometimes 1,000 times. Phil Spencer probably makes more in a quarterly bonus than entire dev teams see in their lifetimes, while he lectures us about sustainable business practices and fires thousands of people. When your CEO makes 600 times more than you, you're not running a creative company. You're running a wealth extraction scheme. This isn't just about money or business models. This is about what we want games to be. Do we want products designed to extract maximum revenue through psychological manipulation, or do we want art that challenges us, surprises us, makes us think and feel? The 200 million curse exists because corporations have forgotten a fundamental truth. Creativity cannot be bought, only enabled. You can't spend your way to inspiration, you can't market research your way to greatness. The best games come from developers who have something to say and the skill to say it. Everything else, budget, marketing, microtransactions, it's just a noise. Every time you see a trailer attempt to sell you a mega budget, don't get excited. Get suspicious. Because in modern gaming, that number isn't a promise of quality. It's a warning sign that saying creativity went to die. Don't demand excellence from games. Nothing is excellent. Demand conviction and risk-taking. Demand games that respect you enough to challenge you. Demand studios brave enough to alienate some players in order to deeply satisfy others. But to be honest, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I see hope that industry is already changing. Studios are closing, budgets are being slashed, and executives are starting to panic about unsustainable development costs. Remember, the best games don't just entertain you, they make you better. They push you to grow, they push you to think, to feel more deeply. They respect your intelligence and challenge your assumptions. Keep pushing forward. Support the developers who respect you enough to challenge you. Stop accepting good enough from the industry that once taught us how to be legends. And never ever let the corporation convince you that bigger budgets automatically mean better games. Because we don't need billion-dollar muscle physics. We need games that remind us why we fell in love with them in the first place. The revolution won't be marked by big money. It will be created by small teams with big ideas and the conviction to see them through. If this analysis opened your eyes to the industry's biggest crisis, smash that like button and let me know in the comments what's the most overhyped, over-budgeted disappointment you ever played. And most importantly, what mid-budget gem deserves more attention. Remember, I couldn't cover every expensive failure. This list would be extensive. Drop your favorite budget disaster in the comments. Please subscribe for more honest takes on gaming's biggest issues, and don't forget, the most expensive gaming currency is your attention. So spend it wisely.